Between 1964 and 1969, a physician walked into Europe's most elite casinos and extracted the equivalent of $8 million from their roulette tables. No devices, no cheating, no crime. Just a flaw the entire gambling industry had overlooked for decades. His name was Dr. Richard Jarecki. When casinos demanded answers, his response was cold. If casino directors do not like to lose, they should sell vegetables. They banned him. They investigated him. They never filed a single charge, because what he discovered starts with one detail about roulette wheels that nobody thought to question. Richard Wilhelm Jarecki was born on December 1, 1931, in Stettin, Germany. The world he entered was already closing in. As a Jewish child in Nazi territory, survival meant escape. In 1940, the Jarecki family boarded a ship bound for America, carrying little more than forged documents and the memory of the city they left behind. The U.S. immigration files list them as refugees fleeing persecution. They landed in Asbury Park, New Jersey, a place of salt air and boardwalks, nothing like the Europe they had known. Richard's childhood became a study in adaptation. He learned English fast. He studied harder. He finished high school at the top of his class and set his sights on medicine. But the past was never far behind. After graduation, Jarecki returned to Europe, enrolling at Heidelberg University in 1951. The records show a relentless student. He spent nights in the physics lab, running experiments, learning to trust numbers over instinct. In 1957, he earned his medical degree, an achievement that opened doors, but also revealed the power of pure, analytical thinking. He was not content with routine. He wanted to know what others missed. This was not a gambler's mind. This was the mind of a scientist, one that would soon turn the machinery of chance into an equation. The same discipline that had carried him from Nazi Germany to an American diploma would now become his weapon. The casinos of Europe had no idea what was coming. Every night, cards and dice vanished from casino tables, replaced before the first bet. But the roulette wheels stayed. Jarecki noticed. He watched as croupiers polished the brass, spun the wheels, took pride in their ritual. Yet no one ever swapped out the wheel itself. It was a fixture, heavy, expensive, and, crucially, permanent. In that permanence, he saw weakness. Roulette is sold as pure chance. 37 numbers, a ball spun at random, but physics does not care about casino myths. A wheel is a machine, and machines wear down. A single chip in the metal, a scratch on the rim, a tilt so slight the naked eye misses it, all can nudge the odds. Over thousands of spins, those nudges add up. Numbers that should win once in every 37 turns start to show up just a little too often. Not enough for a gambler to notice, enough for a scientist to measure. Jarecki did not trust luck. He trusted data. He knew that in theory, every number should be equal. But if a wheel had even a microscopic defect, it could create a bias, a sector where the ball landed more often than statistics allowed. Casinos changed cards to protect themselves from card counters. They changed dice to stop loaded throws, but they left the most important piece untouched. Jarecki saw the flaw. He decided to prove it. The plan was simple. Record every spin, every outcome, every wheel. Turn observation into ammunition. He was not guessing. He was hunting for evidence. The house edge was built on the illusion of randomness. Jarecki was about to break that illusion with mathematics and observation. Subscribe to SlickHeist now. because what happens next makes everything before it look minor. Carol Jarecki sat at a casino table, pen in hand, eyes fixed on the spinning wheel. She wasn't alone. Around her, a network of clockers, students, engineers, even a retired school teacher blended into the crowd. Each had a job, record every number, every spin, every wheel. No shortcuts, no gadgets, just patience and notebooks. The rules were strict. Only the outcome mattered. No guessing, no speculation. Each spin was logged by hand, then double-checked, then tallied again. The process was grueling. A single wheel demanded up to 20,000 spins before the numbers meant anything. That meant weeks of silent observation, shift work, and relentless focus. The team operated across Monaco, France, Italy, and Germany, never drawing attention, never breaking the law. Carol became the backbone of the operation. Her memory for patterns was legendary. She could spot a wheel by the scratch on its fret or the way the ball hopped in the zero pocket. She trained new clockers in the art of invisibility, how to look like a tourist, how to vanish when security circled. Every tally sheet was a battlefield report. The numbers were transferred to frequency charts, one for each wheel, each casino, each city. They marked the hot sectors in red, the dead zones in black. When a number showed up more often than statistics allowed, it went under the microscope. Was it a fluke, or was the wheel sick? The answer came only with volume: 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 spins. No computer, no calculator, just raw human labor. The labor was the proof. Without it, the entire scheme was fantasy. With it, the casino's illusion of chance began to crack. Jarecki's team didn't trust luck. They trusted the grind. Every number was a data point. Every data point was a weapon. The house edge depended on ignorance. Jarecki and Carol made ignorance impossible. Subscribe to SlickHeist now, because what happens next makes everything before it look minor. A scheme like this runs on proof, not hope. Jarecki needed ammunition, hard numbers, not hunches. The tally sheets grew into a mountain of data, each entry a fingerprint of the wheel's secret leanings. But data alone does not place bets. To turn analysis into action, he needed capital. That's where Zurich came in. A Swiss financier, discreet and unsentimental, wired $30,000 into Jarecki's hands. The money was not for show. It was a war chest, travel, hotel suites, and, most of all, the deep reserves needed to hammer the tables when the math said go. Jarecki did not gamble until the numbers were ironclad. Every chart was run through statistical tests. No shortcuts, no gut feelings. The chi-square test became his shield. He demanded more than 99% confidence before a single franc hit the felt. That meant a sector of 5 or 6 numbers had to show up far more often than chance could explain. Out of 20,000 spins, the hot numbers glowed like coals. A wheel might favor 17, 34, and 6 by a margin that sliced through the house edge. The odds flipped. Now, the casino was the mark. The Swiss loan was more than money. It was a signal. Someone in the world of high finance had seen the math and given the green light. The operation scaled up. Jarecki and his team could now walk into a casino and play at limits reserved for the ultra-rich. The house did not see a threat. They saw another eccentric doctor, maybe a little too clever for his own good. But the betting slips told a different story. Jarecki's wagers grew bold. $500 a spin, $1,000, $10,000 when the data screamed advantage. He was not guessing. Each bet was a calculated strike, backed by mathematics that left no room for superstition. The casino's edge was supposed to be unbreakable. Jarecki's records said otherwise. He was not there to play. He was there to win. If casino directors do not like to lose, they should sell vegetables. Subscribe to SlickHeist now, because what happens next makes everything before it look minor. Sanremo, 1968. The casino floor is bright, the air thick with cigarette smoke and suspicion. Jarecki steps to the table, not as a gambler, but as a surgeon. The data is in. The bias is real. He starts small, then ramps up. 3 days, $48,000. The pit bosses circle, whispering in Italian. The croupiers keep their hands steady, but their eyes dart to the man in the tailored suit who doesn't flinch. A month passes. He returns. The casino has tried to rotate wheels, swap tables, anything to shake him. It doesn't work. He's already mapped the new bias. The bets come faster, larger. One weekend, $192,000. The stack of chips grows so high the table manager has to fetch a second tray. The cashiers double-check the payout. The director watches from the balcony, helpless. No cheating, no gadgets, no edge except the truth in the numbers. They ban him. He waits. When the ban lifts, he's back. One day, $100,000. The casino's defenses are useless. Their machines, their rituals, their house edge, all undone by a notebook and a mind trained to see what others miss. Jarecki doesn't gloat. He collects, signs the payout slip, and walks out into the Riviera night. The numbers are public. Italian newspapers run the headline, "Doctor beats the house in Sanremo." The casino's own audit confirms it. $48,000, $192,000, $100,000. Nearly a third of his total winnings in less than a year, extracted from a single venue. The directors call him a menace. Jarecki responds with a shrug. If casino directors do not like to lose, they should sell vegetables. Subscribe to SlickHeist now, because what happens next makes everything before it look minor. The fallout at Sanremo was swift and merciless. In 1969, management ordered every single roulette wheel, 24 in total, hauled out and replaced. The decision wasn't subtle. It was a public admission that the house edge could bleed, that the machinery of chance had failed. For the first time, a casino's most sacred hardware was treated as a liability, not an asset. Directors issued statements blaming statistical anomalies, but behind closed doors, panic settled in. No one could explain how a single player, armed with only a notebook, had brought Europe's oldest casino to its knees. With the press circling, Jarecki fed them a story. He claimed his advantage came from a powerful computer at the University of London, a machine running algorithms no human could match. It was a smokescreen designed to draw attention away from the simple, brutal truth. The only computers involved were the brains of his team and the raw math of probability. The casino managers seized on the cover story. It was easier to blame technology than admit to a flaw in their own equipment. Bans followed. Monte Carlo's security chief issued a formal exclusion order, barring Jarecki from the premises. Sanremo's directors declared the doctor no longer welcome. Notices went up in Nice, Cannes, and Baden-Baden. The bans were public, but the legal ground was shaky. Jarecki had broken no law. He used no device, placed no hidden bets, bribed no one. All he did was observe, record, and exploit a weakness the casinos refused to acknowledge. The only real crime was seeing what others ignored. Reporters pressed him for comment. Jarecki's answer cut through the noise. He said that if casino directors do not like to lose, they should sell vegetables. The line made headlines from Rome to New York. It became the rallying cry for anyone who ever dreamed of beating the house on its own terms. Subscribe to SlickHeist now, because what happens next makes everything before it look minor. The numbers speak for themselves. Between 1964 and 1969, Richard Jarecki turned a $1.2 million run into the modern equivalent of more than $8 million, all legally, all in the open. Italian daily Il Giorno crowned him the world's most successful roulette player. But the real legacy was not on the casino floor. It was in the back rooms and boardrooms where the industry scrambled to recover. Sanremo's desperate wheel swap was only the beginning. Across Europe, casino directors ordered mass replacements, monthly hardware audits, and strict maintenance schedules. Wheel manufacturers faced pressure from regulators and operators alike. By the early 1980s, the old models were obsolete. The new answer was the starburst wheel, precision-machined, modular, and designed to erase even the faintest trace of bias. Tolerances shrank from tenths to hundredths of a millimeter, but the arms race did not stop there. By the 1990s, digital monitoring became standard. Every spin, every result, every vibration was logged and flagged by software. Regulators demanded electronic audit trails. The age of the blind wheel ended with Jarecki. He did not just beat the house, he forced it to rebuild itself from the inside out. The doctor's method became the industry's nightmare. The quote echoed in trade journals and legal memos, "If casino directors do not like to lose, they should sell vegetables." Subscribe to SlickHeist now. What happens next makes everything before it look minor. After the last wheel was swapped and the headlines faded, Richard Jarecki didn't look back. He took his winnings and moved into a new arena, commodities trading. Alongside his brother Henry, he founded Jarecki and Brothers, incorporated in Chicago. The same discipline that broke roulette now targeted gold, silver, and currency futures. The firm's filings from 1972 list Richard as chief analyst. He ran the numbers, found the patterns, and bet big when the odds were right. The house was different, but the math was the same. The run in commodities multiplied his fortune. By the 1980s, Jarecki was out of the casino spotlight and into the world of high finance. He didn't chase fame, he chased the edge. In the 1990s, he left the United States for Manila. There, he became a consultant for offshore banks, advising on risk, algorithms, and probability. The old gambler's instinct never faded. At age 86, in December 2017, he entered the Manila International Roulette Championship. He won first prize, $75,000. The local press called him a legend. He called it just another game. Richard Jarecki died in Manila on July 25, 2018. The New York Times called him the man who turned roulette into a science. The casinos rebuilt their wheels, rewrote their rules, and tried to forget the lesson. But the lesson was simple. The house edge is not a law of nature. It's a flaw waiting to be found. If casino directors do not like to lose, they should sell vegetables. Subscribe to SlickHeist now, because what happens next makes everything before it look minor. In a world built on illusion, Jarecki proved that data is the only real weapon. Casinos still spend millions each year upgrading roulette wheels, terrified of the next mind that sees what they miss. If casino directors do not like to lose, they should sell vegetables. The house always wins until someone rewrites the rules. Subscribe to SlickHeist, because what happens next makes everything before it look minor.